Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. I just wanted to respond to a very interesting statement by the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. Today, what's making rounds today is when he was in somewhere in Mombasa, was giving a speech. I don't know what the event was about, but something that Uhuru Kenyatta said that was really interesting. He basically said, I'm paraphrasing, he was in the middle of his speech and he said, nasikia watu wengine wanalialia kwa sababu ya mambo ya foreign aid ambayo hatupati, msaada ambao hatupati nio. Now, for those of you who are not Swahili speakers, I'll help you out. Basically what he was saying was, I had somebody, some of you are complaining because of Donald Trump, halting the whole foreign aid that United States gives to different countries in the world. And basically, Uhuru Kenyatta was saying that if you're going to do stuff like, need aid or money for healthcare, on all these wonderful things that we want to do, we have to, depend on ourselves, which was a valid point. Now, I want to expound to this, what this really, really means. Okay? Yes, of course, it's, there's no hidden message he was giving there. I know some of you political heads might interpret that as him throwing a shade on the current government, because, there are some governmental official who came out and said, okay, we are going to have, some problems because we do not have enough drugs for malaria, all this stuff, AIDS and stuff like that, due to this stop that Trump has brought, the foreign aid that Trump has, say that he's going to stop for 90 days for a proper, thorough review. Now, I want to make a larger point regarding this issue. I think it was a wonderful point by Uhuru Kenyatta, even though I do not, how I feel about Uhuru Kenyatta. I loathe everything about Uhuru Kenyatta. I have bottomless contempt for Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. But anyway, that's besides the point. He has to get his 2 brownie points for making that statement. Yes, Africa has to depend on itself, on its own. They have to depend on their own resources, the money that they can get and wealth they can generate from their resources. We know it's more complicated than that, and I shall not go into that right now, but kind of highlight some things, okay? So yes, again, Uhuru Kenyatta went ahead and named, the fact that we spend money on buying guns and bullets that we use to shoot our own brothers and sisters, okay? Nice speech. Not nice speech, but nice point, okay? Now, here is the thing, though. This is where we all have this, for those MAGA people and conspiracy theorists or whatever the case is, Donald Trump stopped all foreign aid for at least 90 days for all of them to be reviewed. Now, some of you might sit there. I know this channel is for Kenyan audience, and I'll explain to you, and I'll just highlight and try to connect the dots how that relates to Kenya. Okay? So bear with me. Grab some popcorn. I'm about to take you for a ride. Are you ready? All right. Put your seatbelt on. We're about to go. Now, I told you, and most people now, there's this talk or this belief that Donald Trump is anti-globalist. Should I explain what anti-globalist is? Okay. The globalists, the people who are pushing this globalist agenda, the George Soros, the Bill Gates, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, okay? These are the guys, okay, the bigwigs who actually control the world's financial system. They control all these transnational corporations, okay? These are the people who actually control and own these private military organizations, these central banks of the world, okay? I will not take you deep down that rabbit hole. You do your homework. This is an advanced class, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, so the thing is, Donald Trump has always been against this anti-globalist. That's why you see one of his first EOs, okay, executive orders was for the U.S. to come out of the WHO, World Health Organization, which is heavily funded by Bill Gates and George Soros and all these people, okay? And number two, the reason, as I connect this with Uhuru Kenyatta's speech, the main reason why these foreign aids were halted and are under review is because, again, ladies and gentlemen, you have to follow me with this. If you read this book, John Perkins, I mentioned it in my last video. John Perkins, The Confession of an Economic Hitman. He was a CIA guy who worked for World Bank, and he was organizing loans for different countries, okay, in South America and, Africa and all that stuff, okay? So basically what he was saying, this foreign aid, U.S. foreign aid, okay, and he mentioned them, one of them being USAID, okay? You are more familiar with them. They're very, very active in Kenya too. John Perkins mentioned that organization has been one in which the CIA used to funnel money to, fund their agenda in that particular country. So, for example, if they feel that Ruto is not playing ball, is not, making decisions that they are not happy with, that, they're not playing ball, they will use that fund through the USAID. Okay, on the surface, we might think, okay, USAID is up there to provide nets and all these drugs for malaria and AIDS. No. That money, majority of it that's been funneled from Washington D.C., okay, usually from the, what we call the shadow government, all right? We shall not get to that, but I'll just help you so I can connect it with what Uhuru Kenyatta was saying. Usually that money is used probably, not probably, but is used to fund political activities. So, for example, if this shadow government is not happy with Ruto, these colonial masters are not happy with Ruto, they will use that money to prop up Matiang'i, for example, okay? So they'll give Matiang'i money for him to walk around and campaign, and they'll to pay people to, to create this atmosphere, using the media and all whatever sorts of medium that they can use to prop up Matiang'i as being the alternative candidate that will floor Ruto, okay? This is how they use that. So they use it for things like that, to fund political activities, or even in some cases to fund a coup d'etat. Okay, he mentioned General Pinochet in Chile, I think in 1950 something, 55, 52, something like that. Okay, we know General Pinochet, okay, in Chile. That's how they did it, actually, through, what's his name? That professor that just died who lived 100 years old. I forgot his name. Henry Kissinger, okay? Go read the book by Christopher Hitchens called The Trial of Henry Kissinger. There's excerpts from the classified, declassified FBI files and CIA files where Henry Kissinger was ordering the hit and also funding the, bribing Pinochet to take out the democratically elected president of Chile at the time. I forgot whose name. I think it's Allende or something. I forgot. I'm not going to get to that. It's been a while since I read that book. But let's get to the point with Kenya, okay? So I'm just giving you an example of how, and like I said in that book by John Perkins, the Confessions of an Economic Hitman, he specifically named USAID as one of those organizations that have used to funnel money to fund political activities of a certain country. So, like I said, so Trump being an anti-globalist, fighting all this, the shadow government, the deep state, the whole, whatever you want to call it, all right? He came and stopped it. He said, all this money should be reviewed. Where are they going? Why are we funding these countries, okay? The reason being, especially now, if you have been following U.S. news, the whole funding of Ukraine, Zelensky have been receiving billions of taxpayers' money. And there's a whole money laundering scheme here, that suspected money laundering scheme that has been happening. In fact, Trump has just ordered an investigation into where the money went of, the ones that were being sent in for Zelensky, okay? Because Zelensky was living large in Switzerland. He's not even in Ukraine, but the fight was going on. But anyway, let me not take you that road, okay? Let's stick to what Nani was saying, what Uhuru Kenyatta was saying. Again, he said, And I'll connect the dots. He said that, we should not rely on this U.S. aid, okay? Foreign aid coming from Trump or the U.S. government. We should not complain about that. We should stop and be self-reliant, which was a good statement. But, again, that's why I'm saying this. That's why I want to bring it home now, okay? I want to bring it home. That's a very good point. Now, the reason why I mentioned this is because with President Trump, if he stays on course and stays to be the anti-globalist or cut funding of these foreign aids to countries like Kenya, this might play a significant reason when it comes to Kenyan political journey or political political architecture, okay, or political trajectory. Let me explain how. Ruto was heavily funded by Joe Biden. Joe Biden, we know, is a globalist stooge, just like Obama and Hillary Clinton and all these people, okay? These guys wanted Ruto there. And I'll explain how, why. I mean, you've seen all these decisions that Ruto has been making. They're all designed to profit the transnational corporations, okay? We have all these private militaries in Kenya are active now. The military base that's in Kenya, I think there's 2, if I'm not wrong, okay? The GMOs, this funny mambo ya shindano ya kudunga ng'ombe and all that stuff. I can't mention it because YouTube will know. But anyway, these decisions that Kenya was against, okay? But Ruto, look at how our financial system is set up. All these loans that we were taking, okay? This guy was taking loan to service the previous loan, but with a higher interest rate, okay? So anyway, so what I'm trying to say is this. Now that the money is going to be reviewed for 90 days, if the Trump government finds out that the money that has been sent through USAID in Kenya is not used for the purposes of helping these programs that we so-called think that they are going to, like the malaria, fighting malaria and AIDS and whatever, all this stuff, you should ask yourself, if this money was being sent and it's not getting to these programs that we are being told, then where was the money going? The money was probably going to do what? To help Ruto stay in power. How? Through the whole, you guys know about the whole, what is it called? The software, whatever the case is, that Ruto was using. It's an Israeli software that he was using to basically hack into his all systems of communications, especially of his political enemies. I forgot the name of that software that they use, okay? They're still using it now. All this intelligence gathering programs, they're pretty expensive, okay? So this is where the money is coming from. All the money for propaganda, okay? The money for traveling here and there to get other leaders in the region, okay, to influence them. The money for Haiti, okay? How do you think Ruto was being bribed? He sent the army there using our taxpayers, but Ruto himself will be paid very, very well, okay? So if the money from this US aid has been reviewed by Trump's administration and found to be going to hands that are not supposed to be going, then that fund will be cut off. And that is one avenue of how to stop and cripple Ruto's regime, because in order for Ruto to stay in power, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, he needs money. Yes, he has a lot of money that he has stolen from the taxpayers' money, okay? But he has to keep on having an income, a huge amount of income, because, most of these greedy people do not want to use their own money. That's why you see they use the taxpayers' money. That's why they come up with these budgets, the budget for corruption and all this stuff, okay? So listen to me. Ruto will need a lot of money, because in order to rig 2027 elections, he'll have to rig the judges, pay off the judges in the Supreme Court, pay off these IBC folks, pay off the members of parliament, pay off his opposition. He'll have to pay off a lot of people. Okay? So this kind of money that he gets from the USAID, if it stops, that's one stream of revenue that he will not be receiving. Okay? So he'll have to use another way to do that. And you'll see the next budget, okay, the next finance bill will be a more draconian one because they have to budget for corruption. Because he needs that money in order to buy off and keep on paying these useless members of parliament for them to pass these draconian laws that benefit the executive, benefit Ruto, benefit all these political elites. So they need money to keep on servicing these corrupt, greedy lawmakers, these corrupt, greedy heads of arms of government like Koome. That's why they're not getting along with Koome, because maybe Koome is looking at it like, you know what? I'm not with it anymore. I want out of this thing. I'll keep on standing for the rule of law and I will not be playing to your tune. And that's why maybe they want him out. That's why Ruto is using Abdel Nasir and Nelson Havi to get him out. So what I'm trying to say in short, in brief, as I wrap up, I know I don't want to make this video long. I'm trying to say is this. Trump cutting off this foreign aid to Kenya is detrimental to Ruto's regime, because it's one stream of income that Ruto was using, okay, to fund all this nefarious projects that will help him keep him in power. For example, bribing of the MPs, because this money is not easy pesa ya kununua mandazi. We are talking about billions, okay? Billions of dollars, okay? Listen, money to these people is nothing. Money to this USAID, actually, to be honest with you, USAID is a CIA front. If you guys don't know, just do your research. Again, this is an advanced class. These guys, money is nothing to them because they print it. They print it, ladies and gentlemen. That's another topic for another day. But again, just to wrap up, I don't want to keep you here long. I'm saying if Trump goes ahead and permanently shuts off the USAID money that comes and all this Ford Foundation and all this foreign aid that Kenya has been receiving, then, ladies and gentlemen, Ruto will start having a hard time because his well shall start drying off. Okay? That's why I can't wait to see who is going to be the new U.S. ambassador to Kenya. I want to see how that relationship is. We saw Ruto come out yesterday and try to realign himself with Trump's decision to stay with wanaume wakwae wanaume, wanawake wakwae wanawake. Under Biden, Kasongo was saying another tune, okay? We had the useless people like Pasaris thinking nini. But now you see Ruto anajaribu he's trying to endear himself with the Trump administration. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, if Trump stays true and stays anti-globalist, Ruto is going to have a hard time operating, and actually it might even affect what might happen in 2027, regardless of whether we are going to have an election or not. And if there's more civil strife, protest, people standing up against Ruto due to corruption, he's been already named as the second most corrupt leader in the world. If Trump stays true to his word, I'm telling you, Ruto might not have it easy. I'm not saying that Trump will send some Navy SEALs to remove Ruto. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if the government of the United States does not stand with Ruto, the regime, and they deem it to be corrupt, not to be done business with, that might embolden the common wananchi, which might spark, because remember, Ruto can only stay there if the Western people backs him up, okay? If they keep on backing him up. I'm not saying that if they back him up, we cannot remove him. We can still remove him even if he's being backed by the Western governments. But I'm just saying it will be more easier to take him out if he doesn't have the backing of the United States of America, okay? So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All this funding, this front foreign aid, governmental, U.S. governmental NGOs that are used by CIA to funnel money to fund their interest in the country, if they are cut off permanently, they might affect the regime in fact, it will weaken the regime of the day, which is Ruto's regime. Anyway, I'll keep this video short. Sorry. Please don't hesitate. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Like, share, comment, and all the good stuff. I'll talk to you guys later. My name is Kenya Revolutionary. Peace and blessings.